esteemed colleague and friend Ian Thornton Trump, who the guy you heard giggling just there, took it to the next level. And what he decided was a great idea was to invite practically everybody out in the information security industry to get involved.
That's because no one cares what we think, and we want to know what you think.
Well, I think I think you're right. I think we would have been just filler, really.
Yeah.
And what we really needed was killer, and that's what we've done. So we've got a session starting now, probably going to run for the next 24 hours. And what we've got is a whole bunch of people that you, in the information security world, are household names, people that are just behind the scenes doing really cool stuff. We've got everybody involved. And why are we doing it? Well, why not? And the whole point of it really is to raise money for charity. The charities that we selected are the Electronic Frontier Foundation and Mental Health Hackers, who a couple of organizations really are close to the heart of everything that we do and close to the heart of the people involved. So that's why we chose those people.
And for reasons that we'll discuss later on in the podcast, there are sometimes times where you just want to rip the heart out of certain organizations that you're trying to give money to, and they think you are being suspicious or doing something strange. So communication problems abound, and that's something that a central theme that we'll talk about going forward for the next 24 hours.
Absolutely. So what's the plan? We haven't really got a plan. The beer farmers are not really noted for having plans. But what we're going to do is we're going to invite people to come along and have a chat. And they're going to tell us things that they've experienced in 2019, some of the stuff that maybe has wound them up or made them angry, some of the fun things that they've done, some of the really cool and interesting experiments or bits of research that they've done, or maybe just look at what they think 2020 is going to look like. Predicting the next 12 months is quite a popular hobby in information security, so why not do a bit of that tonight? Just getting the parental advisory out of the way. We're not in control of what people say tonight. There isn't really any kind of censoring going on, so people are free to say what they want to say. There is a code of conduct that might be available on the Discord channel if you can get on there and read it. But what we want people to be is cool, have a good time, not be a dick with each other. There are moderators kicking around, so if things do go a little bit left or south, then we may have to step in. In terms of speakers, so we've got, I think, 50 speakers in the agenda, which is really ace. They've got a 20-minute slot, but that's not really strict. We're not going to hold people to it, but we want people to work around that kind of time scale. What you are going to hear are people's thoughts. So there isn't, again, really much of an agenda. People are free to speak about anything they like, providing that it's got some kind of loose association with the industry and the world that we're in. If you've got any questions, then just drop them in the Twitch and we'll try and grab them and make sure that they find their way to the relevant speaker if we can. Pronunciation of names and handles. So we've got people from all around the planet, which is why this is a 24-hour thing. So we do apologize in advance if we don't get your name right, but I'm sure you'll let us know if that happens. A couple more things from me. Thanks very much indeed to the Many Hats Club. Okay, we originally intended for this to be held purely in Discord, but there's a problem upstream with Google, who host the platform. They've got a technical issue with their storage arrays, and so therefore we've had to fall back to Plan B, which is great because we had and have a Plan B. But behind the scenes are a whole bunch of people that are recording it, piping it, making sure stuff works, and I want to say up front, thanks very much for those people. Thank you very much. And finally, for me, for the time being, is just have a great time. Listen, learn, have fun. That's what this is all about. And then ultimately, we want you to donate money. So links will be dropped into things that will take you to our GoFundMe page where you can give as much or as little as you can afford. We'd really appreciate it. Have a good time. And so over to Stuart.
Yeah, Stu, we couldn't have done it without you, brother.
Could have done it if our Discord server works, right? I'll absolutely blame Google for that because I'm allowed to. And so it's been amazing actually. And I'll have to say that there's been quite a few people here on here. So Ragsec and Dated Rhymes who are doing all the audio and helping with the audio, and we'll be piping it into Discord if it ever mind, which remains to be seen. But everyone speaking, it's an absolute honour to be able to support the beer farmers and also those great causes, which I think are close to everyone's hearts. You know, internet freedoms and mental health important. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really awesome gig, and looking forward to it really.
So Stu, in the tradition of BeerCon 1, we got to ask you a question. What was 2019 like for you? Because you had a huge year. The Many Hats Club, it seems like, has gone into the next level. What's happened to you, brother?
That sounds like an intervention. For me, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. Many highs and one or two few lows, but for me, it's been amazing. I've been lucky enough to work with in the community so many people, get involved in podcasts and talking to people, supporting community events and running a community, which is always difficult. We have very little free time. And a highlight for me actually was actually doing a talk on mental health, which is really difficult because a lot of people don't talk about that, and maybe not enough. And that's probably why the Healthy Hackers is quite important. But really important. And actually, after it, realised that it helps a lot of people. So yeah, that was a massive highlight. And then of course. Maybe the John McAfee podcast, just because I've been trying to get to talk to him for 18 months and actually realised how insane he actually was. So that was yeah, it was pretty cool, I guess.
That was genius, Stu. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was it was interesting, right? I didn't know where it was going to go, and yeah, and it went everywhere I didn't expect it to go to. Again,
there were two things came out of that for me, and again, it was hats off to you for putting that on and making it happen. But when asked around bath salts, he gave an incredibly analytical description of how to do the right thing with bath salts. You know, you take a little too little and nothing happens. You take a little too much and it's a zombie death. And then when asked around the question around fornication with whales, he said he'd never done it, but then he proceeded to give a really detailed explanation of how you would do it. And I just thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, it was almost like too much information twice. But then, like, you know, you'd have to have done some research at that point to understand, you know, how the logistics of how you might have fornication with a whale. We didn't describe what type of whale. We really should have asked, you know, what type of whales were included, because that's the kind of information you need to know, I guess. Right? Yeah. Which species of whales? You know, that's.
So Stu, really quickly then, what are your hopes and dreams for 2020 then? What are you going to build? Are you going to continue to helm the Many Hats Club? Are you going to invest? Are you going to invite the investigator Simon Smith on the show?
So I can get a lawsuit. I mean, you've got to put that on the list, haven't I? Really?
Join the club.
Yeah. I've got quite a few things planned for next year. So I'm trying to create the Many Hats Club as a non-profit. So that was supposed to happen this year, but it'll probably happen in January now, given all the things going on. But yeah, I want to actually help the Many Hats Club do what it does, but officially. So we help a lot of people just starting out, or we've helped people get to conferences, or people have donated money to people and help out, or free time from forums. So I think much more of that from Many Hats point of view. I'd love to get some cool guests on. So obviously all the people here tonight, I'm sure some of these guys will come back. I've got plans to try and get Elon Musk on. That's my next guest to go after. Yeah, I know, right? That's going to take a while. I mean, it might take me another year and a half, but I mean, it's definitely going to be worth it if I can do it. So there's lots of big plans. But yeah, like always, I just take it as it comes, and each day's a blessing, really.
Fantastic. Fair. So I guess in true Beer Farmers form, we've gotten through the first kind of speaker in the introduction. We are actually on time, so it's now time to hear from our first BeerCon 1 external guest.